A cheesemaker makes cheese, a cheesemonger sells cheese. But cheesemongers are also more like a sommelier is to wine. It's somebody who knows a lot about cheese and can educate their customers. My business is called Cheese Monster. And really what I try and do with my business in all aspects, either through the cheese boards, through my classes, through my cheese club, is to make cheese approachable. You never really get bored with cheese. There's so many different aspects that you can delve into, either from a food aspect of, what does it taste like, what's the texture like, what are the flavor notes, that whole thing. Or you can get into it from a science perspective. There's a lot of really intense science that goes into cheese making to do with, everything from, molecular structures to molds and bacterias. I've been lucky enough to come from a family with an artistic background as well, so being able to take that background and apply it to food is sort of what I'm after with my cheese boards. I'm, very influenced by art, and I try and bring art and that artistic sensibility to my cheese boards, kind of marry the two mediums. Andy Goldsworthy and his sort of idea of the ephemeral really influenced me a lot. It's all, transient, it's not there forever, and that's how I feel about my cheese board. I'll do an event and they're like, oh, it's too pretty to eat, or oh, I don't want to ruin it. But that's the whole idea, is that it's not here forever. The other person who has had a huge impact on my cheese boards is a lady named Lilith Spencer. She's also a cheesemonger. She's based in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's bananas how good she is at her cheese board. I've really tried, in the name of being efficient, to plan out my boards ahead of time so that I can just come in and execute. I've learned I can't do that. I measure out all my stuff beforehand, but when it comes to the actual design of things, it's just whatever is in my head in that moment just kind of comes out. And what I try and do is marry the beauty with the flavor. So we'll start with the savory items on this board, like the cornichon, the small little pickles we've got here, pickled okra from Gordy's Pickles here in DC. They're Cajun okra, which is amazing. Some tomatoes. Whenever I'm picking produce, I like to have stuff that has a bunch of different colors. Variety is appealing rather than kind of one block of color, so I always try and get sort of rainbowy tomatoes here. Let's talk about a few of the cheeses that I've used on this board. I like to use a combination of domestic local cheeses, but then also a few imported as well. One of the things that I love to do is showcase small producers who I love and who are doing a good job. This one is a local cheese from Firefly Farms called Mary Goat Round Spruce Reserve. This cheese is wrapped in bark, and basically you take a knife, run it right around the top edge, and then you can peel it right back, like that. And it's basically like a dip, really delicious. This cheese down here, the little triangles, is called Willow Wisp. It's from Fairy Tale Farm up in Vermont, and it's a cow's milk cheese, sort of hard, a little savory. The blue cheese here is one of my favorite blues. It's called Micella. It's from Denmark, really nice sweet blue, lots of fruity flavors. And then the last one over here, this is an Italian goat's milk cheese called Lateria di Capra. Sort of, semi-firm, not super goaty, really, really tasty cheese. So we're gonna go over to our, the more sweet side of the board, and we start with some grapes and blueberries, which I like to use together because the shapes kind of echo each other. I'm a little obsessed with these dried kiwis, just because one, the color is like beautiful, but also they taste really good. Like they actually really taste like kiwi, which is amazing. And then one of my absolute favorite / most addictive things that I always have on my boards are spiced and candied nuts. These ones come from Treat Bake Shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. These nuts are actually specifically designed to be paired with cheese. One of my favorite things about my job is introducing people to new products that they either didn't know about or didn't think they liked. For example, pickled okra, that paired with cheese a lot of people don't think about, and so getting that sort of like surprised, oh my God, in a good way, look on someone's face is really satisfying for me. It always makes me excited when you see people kind of like come up and like sneak a little bit here, sneak a little bit there. It's just, it's very satisfying.